Hey, what's up everybody? Mark Price at devslopes.com, plugging our way through foundational Swift and programming. I'm not only teaching you Swift, but I'm teaching you underlying core programming principles that you'll use with you in any programming language. So this is really good stuff. Take it in here. Go ahead and open up your Xcode 8, and we're going to get started with a playground. And this one, we're going to call bools, not to be confused with like a bull with horns, bools and conditionals and comparison operators. Okay. I want to create a folder for this. Swift, and we'll say bools and comparisons. Okay, and create. So, a Boolean is true or false. Simple enough. So, var, we've kind of done this once before, right? Var, am I the best teacher ever? Equals, what's that? Jennifer says true. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, so am I the best teacher ever? Well, thank you. I wouldn't say that about myself because that would be narcissistic. So that's a Boolean. It's true. And, but it can also be false. Can't be anything else, though. So, am I the best teacher ever? Well, let's say that Xcode just keeps crashing, and you're getting sick of watching me have Xcode crash, and you're just angry. And so now you want to set this to false because Xcode keeps crashing. It's not even my fault that it's crashing. Don't get on my case. Don't get on my case. So, am I the best teacher ever? I'm no longer the best teacher ever because this keeps happening to us. And I actually do cut out a lot of the crashes, but I leave some of them in there so you can know that, again, real life development. You see it in the flesh there. So, am I the best teacher ever is now false because it keeps crashing. Okay, and I'm not cutting it out of the video. Okay. Anyway, so true or false. So what does that mean? Why does it mean that we are storing a true or false variable? Well, the funny thing is, actually, most of the time, you're not storing true or false values in a variable. You will, and I do it frequently, but not all the time. Boolean values are sometimes more so used to just compare things or to do something based on some condition. Okay, right? Does that make any sense? You want to do something based. Should I do this? If when you were a kid. Remember when you were a kid and your parents were like, yo, if you clean your room and do your chores, we're going to go to Disneyland. Otherwise, I'm going to take this big black belt with these spikes on it and I'm going to beat you. It was a rough childhood. Anyway, cause and effect, or true or false. Okay, Booleans are foundational principle for that. And this is, again, type inference here. We're inferring it as a bool, but the actual keyword, if you want to explicitly declare it, is bool. Okay, not Boolean. Okay, not Boolean literal type convertible and nothing else. Okay, just bool. And I'm not going to explain what these other things are. If you're wondering, hey, what's the difference between bool and Boolean in Swift when I have the autocomplete comes up? Go search it on Google. I'm telling you, all you ever need to use is bool. Okay, so true or false. And how can you use these things? Well, to make decisions for you. So that's it. That's Booleans. Let's put them in action now. Let's actually see how we can use comparisons with I can show you one more thing, actually. Just one more thing, okay? Just to blow your mind and confuse you completely. If true equals false, or if true equals true, print WTF. This is what the fish, by the way. All right. What's going on here? So we're using the double equals sign here. This is a comparison operator, and this is called equal to. So if true is equal to false, okay, if true is equal to false, then this whole side of the equation would be true, but it's not. So this whole side of the equation is false. So we're saying if false or, okay, this is the or operator, okay, and or if true equals true. So if this is true or if this is true, then go into here. Oh, okay. So true is definitely equal to true. So this is going to return the entire section over here to true. And so again, you can start to see maybe how you can start comparing things in your code. And this isn't a great example because you probably wouldn't write this in your code. But a lot of coding tests and brain teasers out there will actually ask you to decipher things like this, so they can see how your brain works and see if you can read the code. This is really good for learning how to read code. Okay, so true or false. A better example is, for instance, var has data finished downloading. You know how when you get an app and there's a spinner bar? Okay, I'll just explicitly declare it so you can know it's a Boolean. So basically, when you get that spinner bar, it's hitting up a server and it's downloading data. Okay, so we got the spinner ... Oh, a little color, that was nice. ... That's funny. Let's just pick a color. I don't know what it's doing, to be honest, but I like it. It's yellow. It's a feature of the playground. So anyway, so we're downloading data from the internet. Then after it's done downloading, we can say has data finished downloading equals true, right? And then we can do something like load UI and other app features. So this is an example of when you'll actually use a bool in your code and in your projects for things like this. And I've done things like this before. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a common thing to do. So that's Boolean, true or false. It's one way you can use it. Again, anytime you need to get a true or false, yes or no, Boolean's the way to go. Bool for short. The bools go hand in hand, or Boolean logic goes hand in hand with comparison operators. Okay, comparison operators will return a Boolean. Okay, and when I say Boolean, it is bool, but Boolean is the long term for it. Swift just condensed it here. So, for instance, this is real easy. If 1 is equal to 2, print should not see this. Okay, so will never be executed. Thank you. It's smart. So if 1 equals 2, well, 1 is not equal to 2. This will never be called. So again, this returns a Boolean. Okay, that's really interesting, huh? I wonder, do you think you could do something like that over here, actually, in a Boolean itself? So what if we said instead of saying false, we'll say this has data finished downloading equals 1 equals 2. Interesting. So like I said, this is returning a Boolean, a true or false value that's being stored in here. So like I was telling you earlier, you use them less here in variables and you use them more in conditional logic. Okay, you return them, but only return a Boolean for the sake of making a decision. Okay, so if 1 equals 2, print, you should not see this. If 2 equals 2, now we're seeing it. Okay, so it returns a true or false value, the conditional logic. Okay, so let's talk about the different operators here. All right, so we've got equal to, and it's the double equal sign. Okay, we've got not equal to, which is the exclamation point and the equal sign, not equal to. All right, we've got greater than, and this is A, it's greater than B. Okay, so we'll just say that's greater than, and I forgot my colon, need to be consistent. And then we've got greater than or equal to, which is the big Pac-Man mouth to the left. Okay, equal to. And then we have less than or equal to, like so. And then we've got less than. Woo! Okay, so obviously there's a lot going on here, but let's see how it actually works. Let's see it in action, okay? So, of course, the common example here that we've used already is a bank account, so we can obviously do that here again. So var bank balance, right, equals $400. Okay, var item to buy equals $100. Okay, So then what we can do is we can say if bank balance, okay, bank balance is greater than or equal to item to buy. Why wouldn't we just say if it's greater than? Well, if the item to buy was $400, this would turn out to be false, and we wouldn't be able to buy it. That's not right. We need to be able to go to $0 in our account, but not into the negative, unless you put on overdraft protection. Which, why did people do that? No freaking clue. Just what I wanted to do. I wanted to spend money I didn't have, get the item, and then have you charge me a negative fee. I mean, I guess if you don't want to be embarrassed at the register because your card didn't go through, and they're like, "I'm sorry, sir, your card didn't go through. Is everything okay? Do you need any help with your family?" No. So anyway, my point is we need the equal to sign so we can actually buy the item. So item to buy. Okay. Then print purchased item. Okay. So if you've got more money or equal to or an equal amount of money than item to buy, print purchased item. Another thing we could do, we could say if item to buy is greater than the bank balance, you need mo money, foo. Okay, so if item to buy is greater than bank balance, you need more money. So this time we're using a greater than only sign. So let's say the item to buy is now $500. Okay. Sure enough, it prints out right here. Okay, this is cool. So far we've used greater than or equal to. We've also used the greater than sign here. Okay, and maybe your bank, whenever you hit 0, for instance, it wants to give you a notification saying, "Hey, you're at no money. You spend it all." So this is a silly example, but we could say if item to buy is equal to bank balance, okay, and then what we can do is we can say print, "Hey, buddy, your balance is now 0." Okay. So if item to buy is equal to bank balance, "Hey, buddy, your balance is now 0." So if I say item to buy is $400, "Hey, buddy, your balance is now 0." So if this is equal to this, okay, then do this. Now remember, these operators here, okay, are returning a true or false value. Okay, so remember, you could actually store this in a variable. So for instance, var am I at 0 equals item to buy equals bank balance. Okay, so it's going to run this operation first, and then what it's going to do is it's going to return a true or false value into this, and this is a Boolean, so you can actually store the result if you wanted to. But again, like I said, in most cases you don't. Okay, and then let's see here. The only other one of great importance is the not equal to sign. So I'll show you that as well too. For instance, let's say we want to compare, instead of numbers, we want to compare strings. So if, let's say, correct spelling is not equal to, and let's do it better. Let's say var word1 equals, let's see these are book titles. Okay, so book title 1 equals let's say Harry Blotter and the Moppet of Meyer. It's not my book. Okay, anyway, and then we have a var book title 2 equals, and let's say we have the same thing here, but this one's entered by a user. Okay, this one was entered by a user, but they need to be the same thing, right? So let's say that the user accidentally lowercase this and forgot the A. There's bad spelling. So what we can do is we can say if book title 1 is not equal to book title 2, print need to fix spelling before printing, whatever. Okay, so if this one is not the same as this one, then do something else. Okay, so it's basically the opposite of using these here. Okay, and you'll see programmers use these interchangeably, and you can sometimes you can get the same result in decision using different operators, just depending on what you put first or second, but you can do whatever one you want, which is cool. So this is all really cool. This is really cool stuff. Another thing you can do is, remember how we did this example up here? Has data finished downloading? You can also use that unary operator. So we could say if, well, first let's do it with, let's do it up here before it's been set to true. So if not has data finished downloading, okay, then print loading data. So at this point in time, if the data has not finished downloading, let's print to the screen loading data. So this is the unary operator put before the Boolean value, and so it's saying the opposite, right? So that's why it's so important to word your variables with your Booleans so carefully. So has data finished downloading? That's the question we're asking. So if the data has not finished downloading, that's what this is saying here. Print this here, okay? Print loading data. Pretty cool stuff, right? So what we've done here so far is we've just used some of the basic operators. Of course, we've used the greater than or equal to. You can also use the less than or equal to, and you can start making decisions based on those operators. Okay, the result of those operators, which is, I think, pretty dang cool. One more thing I want to show you, and then we'll be done. So if book title 1 is not equal to book title 2, okay, then we need to fix spelling before printing. Great. Else, okay, there's the else keyword. So if this happens, or if this is true, great. If not, go to the next block of code. And this will always, always, always be executed if this is false. And this will never, ever, ever be executed if this is true. Okay, very important to know. And so we can say print book looks great, send to printer. Okay, pretty cool, right? If book title 1 is not equal to book title 2, great. We can do more though. Like we can also say, so the first thing we want to do is check the spelling. Then what we want to do is we want to make sure that the size of the book title is a proper size. So we can do is we can say else if, okay, book title 1 dot, let's see, is there a length on a string here? Let's see. Far here. Oh, characters. Haha. The string, then the characters, then the count. Okay, goodness. So if the count of the entire string is greater than, let's say, 10, like, then what we need to do is print find a new title for the book. Okay, so that's interesting. So look what we did here. If the book 1 title, or the book title 1 is not equal to book title 2, then we need to send this to printing. Well, let's say that we fixed it. All right, so this is great. We've just fixed it. The book is now perfectly edited, whatever. But look here, find a new title for your book is now called. Okay, so we passed the first one. This is true. So then we go to the next thing. Or excuse me, this is false, and therefore it's not called. This is false. So else if book title 2 dot characters dot count is greater than 10, oh no, we need to find a new title for the book. This is too long. It's not going to fit on the book. Okay, so we need a book that has 9 characters in order to get to here, to the else clause. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count the space. That's a character. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wow. So Harry Blotter and the Moppet of Fire was just turned to Harry Blow. I don't know what this book's about anymore. But the editors thought it might be a little more appropriate to add a G there instead. So we've got some crazy book that we've reduced the title on. And now look, let's see if we've passed it here. So if book title 2.characters.count is greater than 10, okay, print a new title for the book. And of course, we need to copy this over here because it needs to be the same. Okay. So if book title is not equal to book title 2, well, it is, so this is false, so we're not going to call this. Else if book title.characters.count is greater than 10, well, we fixed that problem too. So this is going to be false. So here's the end all catch-all. So once we pass those conditions, It is now true, and we're able to print the book. Okay, so we've worked with if statements, else if statements, else statements. We've worked with these conditional operators here. Okay, the double equals, the greater than or equal to. We've also talked about less than and less than or equal to. We've done a lot of stuff here. We've talked about the urinary not operator, okay, the prefix here, if it's not finished downloading. We've talked about Booleans and true and false, and how this will equate to a true or a false. Some really good stuff. So we're going to call this video done. It's a lot to take in. Watch it again. And you're going to start using conditions in your applications, because that's how applications think and make decisions, is by using these tools that we've talked about. So that's it. Mark Price at devslopes.com. Moving on and forward.